morning, and it is a very good morning. I may have mentioned at some point that humans, part of the animal kingdom and part of the domain of Eukaria, but I haven't mentioned that Protists are the root of the domain. And Protists are the point where our cousin groups, the bacteria and the archaea, interbreed, intermingle genetically through horizontal gene transfer with the protists before the protists go on to split into the plants and then the fungi and animals. And yet we still have protists as well. We have protists, and it's kind of like how, how you've got brothers and sisters and cousins. You also have parents and aunts and uncles, and you have grandparents. And let's consider the protists to be our grandparents, and the bacteria to be a distant great uncle, and the archaea to be another distant great uncle. But the grandparents are the protists, and of course our parents are the animals, and our immediate aunts and uncles within the Eukaria are, of course, the plants and the fungi. And then within the branch of the animals, we ourselves are descended from animal ancestors that stretch back, a good 800 million years, 900 million years, possibly a billion years since animals became completely differentiated from fungi and plants to a degree where you could say definitely this is an animal. So it's probably been a billion years. And in that billion years, we have had plenty of time to evolve. We've had plenty of time to develop distinctive traits and characteristics. We've had time to develop multicellularity, not once, but 3 times. In the plants, the fungi, and the animals have all developed multicellularity, and all pretty much the same way. Beginning as colony life forms, and then evolving a division of labor, which allowed certain cells to do certain things and other cells to do other things, and all work together towards a common goal. And with this, we were able to develop bodies and multicellularity. And division of labor, well, it works. It's effective, and it only had to develop once. But I suspect it developed 3 times. It didn't start with a protist and then spread out. It started 3 times with plants, animals, and fungi, each developing multicellularity in their own way and branching out from there. With the protists, if they did develop multicellularity independently, never really getting anywhere with it. And the reason that plants, animals, and fungi were able to develop multicellularity to such a degree is they weren't in competition with each other. In fact, they were complementary of each other. This parallel evolution of bodies, of multicellularity, of complexity. It was internally and externally complementary across the board. Plants benefited from animals and fungi being multicellular. Animals benefited from plants and fungi being multicellular. Fungi benefited from plants and animals being multicellular. And this allowed an incredibly diverse range of bodies to evolve. Everything from tree trunks to elephants to Yes, dare I say it, the cremini mushrooms that I'm going to chop up later and saute in butter. Absolutely. Those are all bodies, and those are all bodies that work well. They work effectively, each in their own way, each ideally suited for its own environment. And plant evolution took off in areas where animals weren't competing with them. Fungi evolution took off in areas where plants weren't competing with them. So by the time they started competing with each other, they were already so well developed and they had become so big that they could not keep each other down. And at this point, they discovered that they could benefit one another. This was not a conscious discovery, but rather a simple consequence. Animals could eat plants, plants could eat fungi, plants and animals could eat fungi, and fungi could and would eat plants and animals. But at the same time, we benefited from each other. Plants provided a foundation for fungi, fungi provided a foundation for plants, and animals could take shelter in both. Oh, pardon me, sorry about that. Spring allergies, ugh, yeah. Yeah. So, this is the evolution of bodies. Complex organic life, large-bodied, all taking place within the domain Eukaria. And the Eukaria were able to keep everybody else out of the large, complex body niche. But because we took off in different environments, we didn't have a chance to keep each other out. And so by the time that we re-encountered each other, we were already well established as having bodies, having multicellularity, having complexity. If anybody has any evidence to suggest that I am wrong or mistaken, please inform me, because I would much rather post a correction video directly linked to this video than blunder forward. So yes, if anybody out there is a biologist, a paleobiologist, a biochemist, anything that specializes in understanding early evolutionary biology, please inform me in the comments section below so that I can actually check this out and potentially correct my errors if I have any. Morning tea, Beethoven. Perfect combination, don't you think?